Hi friends, welcome back to the Saffron Box. I'm Yamini Sharma, and today, continuing ahead with the House Lord series, I'll be talking about the fourth house lord of your birth chart. So the natal chart, if you see, check the fourth house, check the planet which is ruling the fourth house, the sign ruling the fourth house, right? So that is the planet I am referring to in this video. So I've already done three videos. This is the fourth one. I've done three videos covering the first lord, the second and the third lord, and this video shall talk about the placement of the fourth lord in your birth chart, which house is it placed in, and thereafter what is going to be the effect as per your natal chart, right? So this is what you have to see. Do remember that the any position, when we're talking about any position, any placement of a planet, there are various factors which influence that particular placement. So you also have to see where is the planet placed. Apart from that, you have to see what kind of conjunction is it forming, what kind of aspects are falling on it, which nakshatra is it placed in, and the various yogas it is making. So a horoscope, has to be seen in totality. There are so many things, as I always say. So here with this particular series, I am doing the basics, and thereafter I'll graduate further and I'll talk about the various other layers also. So in this video, you'll understand a basic layer of a basic indication of what is the fourth lord going to show as per its placement, right? So for this, if we see the fourth house as such, the fourth house is a sukh bhav. It's the matru bhav. So it shows your mother, it shows your motherland, it shows your sukh as in the kind of happiness, what gives you happiness, what gives you comfort and satisfaction. This is what the fourth house shows. How contented do you feel? How are you internally? What does your mind say? How's your heart? What is there in your heart? Right? So, and where do you derive satisfaction from? So the fourth lord, wherever it will go, it will make a connection with that particular house, and it gives us an idea as to what is going to give you satisfaction, what will give you happiness. So understanding the fourth lord's placement becomes very important. One, because it is the owner of a Kendra Bhava. Fourth house is a Kendra Bhava, and it is a Sukhstan. So ultimately, the end goal of life is actually to derive happiness. Whatever we do, if you're not happy at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Whatever you are doing, what is your bank balance, where are you placed, where are you positioned. But if you're not happy at the end of the day, everything is worthless sometimes. So understanding the fourth house is that is the reason that is very important. And for that matter, from any house, if you see the fourth house, it is always the sukhstan of that house. So understanding the fourth bhava from any of the bhavas is again an important factor to be seen, to see the particular bhava as such. So here with the fourth house, we are seeing the sukh of the lagna. Lagna means you. You, who are you? How happy are you? How satisfied are you yourself? Right? So that is what I am referring to over here. So I'll begin with the fourth lord in the first house. When the fourth lord comes to the first house, that is in the Lagna, it shows that this particular person, this native, likes to live in comfort. Happiness is very important. Whatever they do, they have to feel happy. They will not compromise the feeling of emotion, the emotion of happiness for anything else. So sometimes in a given situation, if they have to give up something very material, but on the other side they have something which makes them feel happy, for the sake of happiness, they will give up that material comfort, or they will give up something else if they are feeling happy, if they are feeling contented. If, for example, if staying in their hometown gives them happiness, they will not take up any other opportunity which is maybe doubling their salary or doubling their monthly income. They will not take it. For them, if it is important to stay at home, home gives them comfort, staying close to their mother gives them comfort, they will stay there only at any cost. Of course, there are various other factors which also have to be seen when we see a chart, but that is the level of attachment to the motherland or to the mother which is there for such a native. Generally, these people are born in very comfortable surroundings, so their home atmosphere is very comfortable. They play a lot of focus on how comfortable, how luxurious their home is. And if in case the this particular placement is afflicted, if the fourth lord goes under affliction, or if the fourth house is afflicted, then in such a case, of course, the reverse can start happening. Home can be a source of discomfort, home can be a source of unhappiness also. So attachment to land, attachment to property, doing work related to these things, doing work related to conveyances is again something which is found frequently, found prominently with such a placement. Then this also shows the nature of your mother. So depending on the kind of planet which is involved, it shows how is your mother. If it is a benefic planet, if your fourth lord is a benefic planet placed very well in the first house, it shows that your attachment with your mother, is very strong. Your mother is a very important figure, very strong figure in your life. So various other indications regarding the mother will also be seen. Then fourth lord in the second house. What happens when the fourth lord comes to the second house? So here I would say one derives happiness out of money, out of financial growth, out of savings. So whatever you accumulate, you like to accumulate a lot. And remember that from the fourth house, the second house becomes the 11th house, right? So it is the lab of the fourth house. So if the fourth lord is placed in the second house and the second house is free of any afflictions, this can be a very good placement. So your happiness comes from family, happiness comes from your assets, your money, your bank balance. You get to enjoy these things. You get to enjoy the material comforts which come with money. You are attached to these things as well. Also, this could show the mother figure. The native's mother could be somebody who's very money minded, or who's very involved in investments or the finances. So this, as I mentioned, also gives indications about your mother, right? So this is again a positive placement, I would say, provided it is free of any afflictions as such. Then fourth lord in the third house. So fourth lord in the third house shows that this native derives happiness out of friends, out of siblings. So you want to spend time with your siblings, you want to spend time with your friends, you like to communicate, you take out happiness from social media, you like to connect with people at large. You are in the industries, where communication is very important. So you could be in the television, you could be in the media industry, you could be working, you could be in travels, hospitality. These kind of things are also indicated. You like to communicate a lot. Communication gives you happiness, so you have to constantly speak, network with people, interact with a lot of people. So if you channelize this kind of an energy, if this theme is shown in your profession also, then in such a case this becomes a very good placement, right? So in such a case, if your profession only involves all these things, that means your profession will give you happiness. If you're involved in all these things, travels, media, communication, etc., right? So this person could also derive a lot of satisfaction by hard work. Third house is an upchay bhava. So the harder you work, the better you feel. So depending on the signs involved, depending on the planets involved, this could also show somebody who gets into nitty gritties, who has to likes to plan a lot of things, and then accordingly puts their plans to action. So likes to take initiative towards new things, likes to plan everything to the detail, and wants to put in his own hard work towards doing things, right? So there are very many indications for this placement as well. Then fourth lord in the fourth house itself, the lord of happiness, the lord of sukh sthan's lord sitting in the sukh bhava itself. This shows that this is a good placement for your land, for property, for conveyances. You could be strong financially. You could be blessed with good immovable property, good conveyances. Again, no affliction should be around this placement. Should be a benefic planet also. Sometimes even malefics will give in good results over here, because you are strongly placed in your own house. So this could also show somebody who's very stable emotionally. That's where the malefics will also play up. Who's somebody who's very determined, right? So you whatever you feel, your feelings are very strong, your emotions are very strong. When there are benefits involved over here, they can you can get, your emotions are very strong, but you can get influenced by other people as well, especially if there is a moon placed over here in his own house also. For example, moon in the sign of Cancer in the fourth house, then this becomes a tricky placement, right? So as I said, we have to see it layer by layer. We have to see the planets, we have to see the signs also involved. But more or less, barring the moon, other planets can do well over here in their own sign. So strong attachment to motherland, strong attachment to mother, all the fourth house significations become strong. Your feelings are very strong, right? This could also show a mother figure who's very influential, who likes comforts and who likes to provide you also with a lot of comforts and luxuries. So there could be a strong mother figure, or your mother is very strong and you're tilted towards her. You like to emulate her. You want to be like her also. Then fourth lord in the fifth house. When the fourth lord comes to the fifth house, one, it makes a Raja Yoga. Lord of a Kendra Bhava going into a triangle house. So there's a Raj Yoga also being formed, provided other things are also there. So it indicates happiness, because you're using your mind very well, you're using your intellect well, you're using your thinking ability properly. So these people are able to take good decisions. These good decisions help them out in life. Your happiness comes from your own creativity, the way you manage things around yourself. Children can give you happiness. You could study well. Fourth house is also a house of education, and so is the fifth house. So your education continues. There's no break in education. Your education is useful to you. You're able to use your education and all the knowledge you have creatively later on in life as well. This could also show somebody who works in an advisory or a counseling capacity as well. So you become a master of your subject gradually as time goes, and you finally come to you become like a expert in your field, and it will apply more towards fields which have creativity involved, arts, creativity, expression of creativity, right? The mother could be, your mother figure could be someone who's very creative, who's working with children. She could be a teacher, she could be a counselor, she could be involved in the education sector, right? So a strong attachment to your kids, strong attachment or a strong will to study more, to utilize your education more, utilize your skills more. So this is a pretty good placement. Then the fourth lord in the sixth house. This is a challenging placement. The Lord of the Kendra going to a Trik Bhava. So here you may struggle towards acquiring your land, acquiring a house, acquiring conveyances, or all the matters of the fourth house. Because the fourth lord has gone third from itself also. So there is some amount of struggle indicated to enjoy the fourth house. Right? So here there could be, your happiness is marred. Why? Because there's some disease, there are loans, there are some enemies, there are some legal troubles. So these things take away your happiness, or they make, whenever you want to feel happy, you want to feel settled somewhere, some disease comes in, some amount of loans, some financial problems come in, or to acquire your land or to feel comfortable in life, you have to go to the courts, seek legal help. So these kind of things can be seen. There could also be a strong attachment towards the maternal side. The sixth house will show the maternal side, maternal aunts, uncles. So a strong attachment towards these relations as well. Then this could also show that for your education, from very early on in your education, to complete your education, you had to take loans or you were under debt. So you had to take up study loans for your education. The nature of your mother can also be seen from here. So your mother is someone who's very service oriented. Mother could be in the medical field, mother could be a lawyer herself, could be a doctor, likes to serve others. Or the life of your mother has also been uh, full of struggles. So this is a challenging placement that depends on other placements as well, but this is again a challenging placement for the fourth lord. Then the fourth lord in the seventh house. Here, a lot of Kendra going into another Kendra. The seventh house is also the higher note of the fourth house, as per the principle of Bhavat Bhavam. So this is again a good placement, so to say. And from here, the fourth lord will aspect the Lagna also. Right? So this could show a spouse who's supportive. You look towards your spouse, you seek comfort and happiness from your spouse. So for relations, this is good. You're able to share your emotions. You're able to share your joy, your happiness with your spouse. So a good relationship with your spouse can be seen from here. Then this could also show somebody who's interested in partnerships. So you want to do some business, but you want to do it in partnerships. Sometimes I've seen that these people have their spouses only as a business partners. So they'll buy a property or they are doing a business, but the spouse is an active or a dormant partner in the same business. So this is also something which plays out. These people like to open their hearts to their spouse. They have to speak, they have to communicate a lot with their spouse. So for them to feel happy, to feel settled, a good spouse is very important. They depend a lot on their marriage partner, on their life partner. Then the fourth lord in the eighth house. Fourth lord in the eighth house, again, it shows that the Kendra Bhava, the lord of a Kendra house has gone into a Trik Bhava, and that to the eighth. But remember, it has gone from a trine for itself. And the element will also be, the trine is also the same. So if the fourth house is a Moksha Bhava, eighth house is also a Moksha Bhava. So it has gone into the same trine. So in a way, there is support to the fourth house. This is not a very bad placement as such. But yeah, it depends on the sign which is involved. It depends on other things also. So it is not a totally bad placement, but it could show that You get inheritance, you get wealth wise or property wise. This could be a good placement. You get inherited property, inherited wealth. But if there are other afflictions, malefic afflictions here, then you could lose all these things also. So it is a tricky placement to have. There could be ups and downs emotionally. So you could be a secretive person. You don't open up properly. You don't open up to people. Because of which, you keep everything bottled up inside, and ups and downs are faced emotionally. That depends, again, as I mentioned, on the planet involved and on the sign involved over here. So that will give us a lot of indication regarding this placement as well. Right, so the mother is also somebody who's who's reserved, who's a little secretive. Or the mother could be dealing with eighth house matters. So your mother could be in the field of occult, works for insurance, has done research, is involved in archaeology, in history, or is involved in teaching these subjects. So those kind of indications can be seen. Then where does happiness come for you? Happiness comes through studying all these things. Your education could be directed towards these things which are not very common. You know, going deep into archaeology, into history, studying occult, doing things which are not usual. Investigative nature of your subject, this, you could have a very investigating nature. You could go deep down, depth of any subject. Your education could be such. So good for people who are doing their PhDs, good for people who are doing research on old matters, historical events, etc. Sometimes I've seen this also shows a placement where you go through heartbreaks. So sometime or the other, there is some heartbreak, there is some breakups, right? So emotionally, this can become a little challenging placement. Then the fourth lord in the ninth house. This could show someone who's who takes on his studies or goes for higher education abroad, moves out. So this placement usually makes a person travel out of home. So where does this person prosper? Out of home. Likes to study away from home, right? So or could settle away from home. This shows a strong chance of foreign settlement also. So for this, obviously, we'll see the whole chart, but shows a person who's interested in going out, moving out of home. And as soon as they move out of home, they see some growth happening in their lives. Also, could show a person whose education is in the matters of the ninth house, like law and order, uh, judicial services. These people study about all these things, or their profession finally makes them study all these things. The mother could be a religious person. Mother could be a teacher. Mother could be someone who's interested in studying about spirituality, studying about religion. Sometimes this placement shows that the relationship with the father could be a little could be not so good. So there are ups and downs shown in the relationship with the father also. Then fourth lord in the 10th house. Fourth lord going into the 10th house, that means two kendras are getting connected. And the fourth lord will aspect the fourth house back, right? So there's an aspect also. This is a very strong placement to have. So the person derives happiness out of work. They're very conscious about their karma. What are they doing? Are their actions good for others or not? So they're very conscious about what they're doing, how they're going about work, How are their relationships at work? This is a good placement for your profession. Whichever field you are in, it is, you're very consciously doing your things. So a good amount of consciousness is there. So they are very mindful about how they are, treating their seniors, juniors, everybody. So these people are pretty good in nurturing their relationships in their professional sphere. This could also show somebody who works from home or who carries on with the family business, right? So does not have to travel too much, or gets the support of the father in doing his or her work. So a good placement for your career growth, for overall growth in life. This is a pretty good placement to have. Then fourth lord in the 11th house. Fourth lord in the 11th house could show that you derive happiness from your social circle, from your contacts in the social circle. You like to network around, you like to spend time out of the home. So, moving around, going to various meetings, gatherings, everything is very important to you. You like to do it, makes you feel happy. There could be gains from sale of land, of buildings. So you could be involved in this kind of a work where you're dealing with property. So sale of land, property, conveyances. So big sales where big amounts of money is involved. So the profession could indicate like that. Then the mother's connections are also very helpful. The mother is also a very ambitious person, and so are you, right? So 11th house shows desires, fulfillment of desires, ambitions. So here, you yourself are a very ambitious person, and your mother also aids in your ambition, aids in fulfilling your goals. So your mother's contacts, her connections, her family, all these things can work out in your favor. But sometimes for your health issues, this could be a not so good placement, because mentally you're not satisfied. Whatever you get, you always want more. And this placement shows that the fourth lord has gone to the eighth house from itself. So you're not very satisfied, though you feel happy, but you're always wanting for more, unending desires. So you could have health troubles or restlessness and the associated diseases, which come with it, anxiety, because you want something and you're constantly wanting more. So this could give you restlessness and anxiety. This could reflect on your health also. Then the fourth lord in the 12th house. Fourth lord in the 12th house shows going away from home. Not a very great placement. Fourth lord has gone to a trik bhava, foreign settlement, moving out, or sometimes I've seen that with this placement I've seen children who go to hostels very early on in life, right? So from a very early age they are put in hostels. So from a very early age, childhood, this theme starts playing out depending on what kind of dashas are also playing up. So you spend a lot of time away from home. Mentally also you feel away from your from your mother, from your home as such. And often it results in a foreign settlement altogether, or a settlement away from home. This also shows difficulty in building your own house or acquiring your own immovable assets or conveyances over a period of time. So these people usually, even if they buy a house, they build up a house somewhere, something happens, or because of their profession, because of something else, some other event in the house, they will sell off that house and move on to something else. So that kind of unsettling feeling, follows them. This, of course, as I said, if the dasha is also playing up like that, it really gets stronger, right? So but this is again a good placement if you are a doctor, if you are in the healing profession, if you are dealing with export import foreign connections you have. So on a very regular basis you deal with people from people who are away from your homeland. You stay for long hours away from home, like as I said, doctors who are at any time of the day they can be called for an emergency, they can be called to deal with a patient, so they have to give up the comfort of their home and then move out of the house. People who respond in emergency situations, emergency response teams, so these kind of things can play out for them, right? So that was all about the fourth lord in the 12 houses. This was again, as I said, a very snapshot way of seeing things. Of course, other factors are also important, which I'll be gradually adding on. So I'll see you very soon in my next video. Till then, take care and God bless.